As home recording guitarists, we all have the problem of buying plugins. Frankly, it's an addiction for most of us. With fancy advertising that plugin companies use to convince us that their plugin is the magic sauce that will save our mixes, I don't blame us for spending our hard-earned cash on countless purchases. But what if I told you that you only need a handful of plugins to achieve great mixes at home? Well, in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the 8 types of plugins that if you master them, will give you album quality mixes at home with ease. But first, let me give you examples of songs I have mixed with only these 8 plugins. Here is a technical death metal mix I did for the band Gnosis. And here's a mix I did for my own band, Son of Erebus. All of this was achievable with 8 plugins, so you know you don't have to break the bank buying tons of software. So let's jump right into our first plugin on the list. Our first plugin is going to be a digital EQ. And you might be thinking to yourself, well duh, but the problem is that most of us are buying 20 different EQ plugins thinking that they're all different. Well, I got news for you, they're not. All EQ is ever going to be is a volume fader for frequencies, that's it. And most DAWs come stock with digital EQs. Don't believe that this is all you need? Let's take this kick and use the analogy of a volume fader by lowering the volume of undesirable frequencies. Next, let's raise the volume of desirable frequencies. Now let's check out how this one EQ makes a massive difference in the mix. Let's check out another example. Here it is on guitar. I'm just cutting low end, controlling the palm mutes, and getting rid of some harsh high-end frequencies. So there you have it. All you really need is 1 or 2 EQs for your mixing needs and you're set. No need to buy a million plugins just for EQ. So now that we've taken care of frequencies, we need a plugin that's going to take care of our dynamics. And the obvious choice here is to use a compressor. Pick up either an 1176 style or a distressor type compressor and you'll be set for life. Here's an 1176 on bass guitar. I'm using this just to level off dynamics and introduce some deafening character to create energy. Here's the 1176 on vocals to add aggression.
Descend into everlasting madness. Leave behind your humanity.
Without this compression, the vocal's gonna totally sound thin and weak. This one compressor is so versatile that I have it all over my mix. Let's go ahead and check it out on kick drum. All I'm doing with this compressor is to add punch. Now let's check it out on snare. Next up, we're going to need something that allows us to increase perceived loudness on a track and add character and grit, and that's going to be saturation. I personally use Escalator from Black Salt Audio. This one plugin allows me to get grit out of tracks and make things seem louder than they really are. Here's Escalator in action on a snare. The next thing we can use saturation for is to add thickness and grit. Let's use escalator to add some grit and thickness to some bass. You can also use it to add punch to guitars. Alright, we've covered some pretty good plugins, but we're not done yet. We're going to need something that allows us to control peaks and retain the punch of our tracks when we don't want to use compression or limiting. So the next plugin for home recording guitarists is a clipper. A clipper is the key to getting loud mixes that don't clip your master bus. Let's check it out what it does on a drum bus. Do you see how it just shaves off the peaks while still retaining the punch? This is key for getting that extra headroom on your mix bus. In fact, let's check it out on a full mix to get extra loudness out of the mix. I love using clippers on a full mix as I'm able to keep all of the loudness and same excitement without losing transient information like you would on a limiter. Alright, with our main foundational plugins in check, we need something that allows us to start adding ambience, and the go-to for that is Reverb. But I use Reverb in only 3 ways: adding ambience to drums, adding ambience to background vocals, and adding ambience to synth and orchestral tracks. And my reverb of choice is the Slate Digital Reverb, as it covers everything you need from gated reverb to large halls. Let's add some reverb to some snare drums. Next up, let's add some ambience to our background vocals.
By trade and slave, I will burn your towers to the ground. By trade and slave, I will burn your towers. By trade and slave, I will burn your towers to the ground.
And finally, let's check out some reverb on some synth tracks. Reverb is awesome, but I find that adding reverb to any other elements like guitars tend to cloud up a mix. So what if there was a way to get the benefits of reverb without the drawbacks? Well, we can, and that's going to lead us to our next plugin, which is delay. To me, it's like a super clean reverb, and I love to use it on lead guitars and vocals especially, and my favorite delay is going to be the Waves H delay. It's like having multiple delays in one. Let's check it out on lead guitars to add some lush ambience.
Step
Now let's go ahead and add it to vocals. I'm using the delay just to add some width to the vocal with the short feedback. The filters and the analog type delay settings truly make this a versatile delay that would cover anything you have to throw at it.
Nothing is real anymore. Wake every day to rise. I see no malice of this world. I will not be a servant for the Lord. I see no malice of this world. I will not be a servant for the Lord. It's right. I will bring it to us to the ground.
You can even do creative things with this delay, like doing a Vox delay throw.
Words low.
Alright, so if all you picked up were these 6 plugins, you'd be set for mixing anything that you come up with. But what if I told you there was a plugin that combines EQ, compression, and saturation? A plugin that allows you to mix seamlessly across any track. There is, and it's called the Channel Strip. This is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for mixing, allowing you to cover a wide range of tasks. Need EQ? Got it. Need compression? It's on tap. This thing is the first plugin you should consider getting if you are mixing at home on a budget, as this will be the most bang for your buck purchase you can make. If all I had was this and stock plugins, I'd be able to mix just about anything and get by just fine. Let's check out a mix using this plugin for all my EQ and compression needs. This is insane how I can get 75 to 80% of my mix done just with one plugin. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, guys. If you take away anything from this, is that you don't need an insane amount of plugins to get a good mix going. And don't forget to click the link below where you can grab a free PDF of all the plugins I've listed in this video. And if you're interested in joining a community of like-minded musicians who are all interested in learning music production, click the link below and join my private community where I hold weekly coaching calls, mix breakdowns, Q&A live streams just for those members. I'll see you around and I'll catch you guys next time.